Okay, hi Alicia.
Yeah.
I'll just introduce myself. I'm David Gilbert. I'm a director at Block Projects, and this is one of the videos that we're doing to just give a little bit of an insight into the artists who participated in the SHU graduate show, which is hosted on Block Projects website. So, hi Alicia, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So first up, what if you could tell me, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Elicia Agar. I've just finished a fine art degree at Sheffield Hallam, and I also did the foundation year there. The work I make is kind of conceptual. I work a lot with speculative fictions, and in an ideal world, I'd be making installations, but due to COVID, it's been, I've had to work around that. So I've been doing what I like to think of as remote installations that I post to people and then they can like look at them at home.
That's a really interesting idea, isn't it? I was having a conversation with an artist friend of mine who was saying that he thinks it's kind of very interesting time because actually, although exhibitions can't happen or haven't been able to happen during the lockdowns, um, artists obviously haven't stopped doing things. So maybe that's kind of cut out the middleman, the gallery, if you like, and artists
Yeah,
have been taking the initiative. So that's a really interesting initiative, I think. It kind of harks back to mail art back in the
yeah.
70s, I guess. Is that an interesting
Everyone
age?
loves getting post. It's the best thing, unless it's bills, but it's different.
So could you tell me a little bit about how you came to decide to be an artist and what your kind of trajectory as an artist has been so far?
Yeah, so obviously I always really enjoyed art in school and everything, but it was kind of a last minute decision to decide to do an art degree. I was actually, I consider myself to be quite academically driven, and I was doing science A levels, and I was thinking about being a dental technician, and they're the people that make dentures because I was like, it combines science and art, which is two amazing things. Um, but I quickly realised that that probably does get pretty old pretty fast, and I guess just in classic artist style, wanted to like follow my dreams. So I decided to do art, and I've ended up in a completely different place. I really used to like painting and like more traditional mediums. When I started at uni, I got really into film photography and like developing my own black and white film. And then it just kind of got a bit crazy and spiraled into me making up alternate realities.
Mm. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because your kind of main piece of work, the Word Vomit Initiative, is about new curricula.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like, the art curriculum you had at school was pretty traditional, drawing and painting and all the rest of it.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
going to university, all of that's sort of gone by the way, and you've developed
Yeah.
completely new ways of working. So how's that experience been for you? I mean, do you do any painting and drawing now, or have you kind of moved completely to a different way of thinking about art and what it's for?
Um, I still enjoy kind of making things with my hands. I like to, even though a lot of the work that I do is like more kind of conceptual and then design based, I always screen print because I just like to get my hands dirty, but I don't necessarily paint portraits anymore. It's just kind of diverted away from that.
So tell us a bit more about the Word Vomit Initiative, which is a website amongst other things, isn't it?
Yeah, I find it really hard to describe to people, and I think people come away from me confused a lot. But the Word Vomit Initiative is not just like one project; it's like the alter ego that I make art under. Um, so it's just like a different world in my brain. And the Word Vomit Initiative is like a healthcare um, company when I first made it, and I was making prescription bags. I don't have any around me, but I was making prescription bags with portraits in, and then people's advice that they were like prescribing to other people. And then I thought, I don't just have to speak on this; like I can use it as like a springboard to speak about other things. And it just so happened I was thinking a lot about curriculums after all of the protests in 2020. People were shouting for a curriculum reform, and I think I was just stewing on that. And then I was thinking a lot about I was looking into like heterosterile and Victoria Sin and the idea of utopias and coming up with your own world. And then I thought, it's just kind of my place to make something and be like, if I had it my way, this is how I'd run the country. But it's also a joke because I'm like, this obviously wouldn't work. It's just like provocative, I guess.
It's kind of interesting, I think, how you're sort of combining that utopian idea with a sort of pastiche of kind of commercial, a
Yeah.
kind of commercial company that's kind of selling educational resources.
Yeah.
Is that kind of, I presume that's kind of deliberate, that you're supposed to kind of read it in those two ways?
Yeah, I definitely think in my brain it makes so much sense, and I've got all these like little quips that I'm making. Um, but it's like most things that I do will be like a dig at something. So on the face value, it is about a curriculum, but then because I'm doing it set up like an app and making it like a product, I'm talking a lot about kind of like consumerism and recently like marketing and especially modern marketing techniques. So instead of doing like a TV advert, you'd make like a TikTok or an Instagram post, and it's like picking on all that nuance, and like using the tools that we see in advertising for like my own gain.
Sure. Would you be able to show us a bit of the website? Maybe just
Yeah.
share your screen and show us the website and talk a little bit about what's going on there. I've had a look through and there's an awful lot there. Plenty,
Yeah.
plenty
I'll
to look at.
get that set up. Okay, so this is my landing page. And then it kind of goes to the, that's called. Can't remember the name. But it's basically just a shop for my degree show work, which is 3 lesson packs, one geography, one history, and one critical studies. And this is what I outlined in my manifesto is like the national curriculum, the new national curriculum. So there's 3 different ones and they all come with different things. So for the history one, you get a book, which I spent 833 minutes transcribing one of Adam Curtis's documentaries and reframed it as a children's book, to kind of speak about decolonizing the curriculum. And also when I watched it, I was like, I wish I would have known all this like earlier. And I'm shocked that I didn't know these things.
Yeah, right.
Critical studies was a bit about media bias. So I just wanted people to kind of source check where they were getting their information from. And then I also made a newspaper to go with that one, and all of the words on the newspaper say outrage porn. Because I think it doesn't really matter which day you get the newspaper, you're going to hear the same things in different words, different people's names, but it's the same stories. And then I made some publications if you want any more like background information. But yeah, basically how I did this project was I was thinking about curriculums and then I did some research to see what people thought about the national curriculum, if they thought we needed it, and then if it was needed, how is the one that we've got working, what can be taken out and what do people wish they'd learn. And one big thing was a lot of people said life skills. So based off of that, I wrote this manifesto where there is one core curriculum, but it's very different to schools now. You don't have to do it as a kid. You can do it when you grow older if you need that time. And then there's also a free market, which people can put their knowledge into a lesson pack. So maybe if you know how to fix a fridge, you put that into a lesson pack and you put it on the free market and other people can buy that and learn that. So you learn directly from other people rather than all from one source.
Right. A brilliant idea. So I guess I'm of a generation that went to school before the national curriculum existed.
Yeah.
And back in those days, schools had their own curriculum, which was kind of quite, sounds very radical now, I guess, doesn't it? So,
yeah, it does sound very radical, yeah.
Yeah, so schools could actually devise any kind of curriculum they wanted as long as they delivered the main subjects. So it could be all drama that deal with all the subjects. For example, not that my school was like that. I wish it had been. So, so what would the ideal school look like then?
Well, in my manifesto, we basically there's no schools anymore. it's like radically shaken up just to see how it would work. So these are my lesson packs. It's what they look like. They're just like postal boxes. And the idea is you'd go on the app, choose which lesson you wanted, and it'd get delivered to your house. You can either study it there, or there is kind of like learning cafes spread around that has staff in. So if you need that help with your lesson, you can go there and do that, and like have subsidized tea and coffee and biscuits.
Great.
And it's also like a play area. So there's a lot more focus on like socialization with children, rather than you need to get this, and this done by this age, and then you do this. So it kind of like has that knock-on effect that instead of like school, university, career, people can keep swapping and changing. So if you get to 50 and you've done your core ones, you can choose to do one of like the additional ones, and it should be really easy to change professions.
So is this going to be an ongoing project? Do you think you're going to continue with, are other subjects going to be taught as well? Or are there going to be resource packs
Yeah,
for other subjects as well?
I hope so. My next move is I want to work with other artists or just creatives or anybody really. And I want them to make their own lesson pack. So they give me their information, and then I kind of like package it up with all my branding and stuff. And then it's ready for like dissemination.
So, brilliant, what a fantastic project. So what have people made of the project so far? Have you sent out many resource packs?
I've had a few people buying them and they seem to be happy with them. I've still got a few left if anybody wants to jump on my website and get one of them. But
Very reasonable, I think, at a minimum of £15, is it, for a resource? I think that's very
yeah,
reasonable.
because that's the thing in my manifesto, like they'll either be free or really low cost. And if they're cost, it'll be proportional to your income. So it's not easier for one other person to afford it. But yeah.
Great. So you've talked a bit about what you might do with this project. Have you got other plans after graduation? What are you hoping to do in the next few years out of uni?
Everything's a bit up in the air at the minute. I'm not too sure. I have a lot of things on the go and I have a lot of interests. I do Olympic weightlifting. I've recently started coaching my own girl strong class. So I've got like school age girls and I'm teaching them, and that's really exciting. But I guess I just foresee myself spinning plates, different projects.
Right. So you're going to have what is euphemistically known as a portfolio career, like most artists. Great. Well, all the best of luck with that. And I think the work's great. So hopefully we'll see you at Block Project sometime, pitching for a solo show or something like that.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Great. That's brilliant. Thanks, Elicia.
Thank you very much.
Been lovely to talk to you. Bye for now.
See you later.